All right, so where we had paused last time was in the building of the website, and we had paused until we restarted at another time, and here we are. So now what we're going to do is get back into the website that we were building, and I just brought up MAMP, and I'm going to fire up the server, let that start up. And now I just have to locate the site that we were working on. I think this was it. Yeah, this was it. Okay, and now let's go inside of this site. So I'll just type in the administration URL, WP admin. Now, on most WordPress website, to get to the administration panel, all you have to do is type in the domain name, such as sambuno.com, and then /WP-admin. Then that will bring you to the back end where you have to enter the password. This is for all WordPress websites. However, in the future, when you start to build more websites, you'll probably start to be concerned about security, and you'll probably change that pathway because everyone knows it, and sometimes you just want to make it not so easy for hackers. Okay, so we are back in the back end here, and let me make the screen bigger. So again, this is our site. So where we left off, we had left off on the menu pages here. We had created these menu pages. And so now we have the home, about us, gallery, blog, and contact page. And we had also added the contact form in the contact page so that people could send us information. So next here is just to build out the remaining pages and actually turn this into a full-fledged website that looks good and presents well and communicates some information. So there are many places or many different points that we can start from here, but I guess let's continue with this contact page. So as you had noted earlier, we had added the contact page we had added the contact element to the contact page after we had created the contact page. Now, once this is live, people can just come in here, enter their information, and click send. Now, you notice that when we click send, the system checks to make sure that we have a valid email. And this is all automatic, and this is the great benefit of WordPress, in that a lot of things such as these things are, such as checking for email validity, all of that is automatically done. So, but this is very, very much good to go. And so let's actually put in a real email and click send, and voila. Thank you for your message. So this has been sent. So in our backend here, where does this email go once it's been submitted from the contact page? It's going to go to the administration email. So the email that we had used to create our website. So it's going to get sent here. So this will come to my Gmail email, and then I can reply to the person who sent it accordingly. So it's pretty straightforward in terms of just what you're looking for. Now, additionally, you can add more fields. So like, for instance, we only have 4 fields here. We have your name, your email, subject, and your message. We can actually add more fields to ask for phone number, to ask for various things very easily, just from the back end here and the contact. And then we can just add any one of these fields here to get more information from our website visitors. But so that's that there. Let's move into designing the other pages. And I guess the next one is the blog here. I think that would be a good one to go over. So currently, the way that we have the site is that our recent posts show up on the home page. So every single new post that we write shows up on the home page. And this is actually the home page here for now. So what we want to do is we're going to make the home page a static page, a page that doesn't change. And then we're going to move the blog. Whenever a new blog comes in, we're actually going to move it into the blog page, so that the blog page is the place that will house all of the different blogs that we write. And then the gallery page will hold our pictures. The About Us page will be rather stationary, so it's not going to change much. And the home page is also going to be stationary. But again, let's go to the settings here necessary to make the blog page carry all of our blogs and make the home page static. So I'm going to go into settings. Then I'm going to go into reading. Now you see here we have the reading settings, and here we have the option to make our homepage display the latest posts or make it a static page. And when you're building websites for businesses or people, generally it's going to be a static page unless you're building a website for someone who blogs a lot. So we're going to set this from your latest post to a static page. And so now we have to select the page that actually is our home page. So when we click on a static page, then these options light up. Prior, they were not selectable. Now they are. So the home page, we actually created a home page in the menu. So we were going to click Home and designate the home page as the home page. And then the blog pages, the posts, the pages where all of our blogs will appear, we're going to designate the blog page that we created as the posts page. And so you'll see what happens here once we click Save. Okay, so once we go to the front end and refresh, now the home page is static. The blog page now has all of our blog content. So our tester blog and our Hello World blog, and any new blogs that we add here. So any new blogs that we add to our website is going to show up in that designated area. And there it is. And so this was our most recent blog content, and this was the prior blog that we created, and this is the current last blog that's there. So all of our blog section now shows up within the blog page, and our home page is static. Now let's do a couple of quick things here. I'm just quickly going to remove the contact form from this blog because it was not necessary. Okay, so now we have 3 blogs here. Okay, now, so this is a static page, and this is a static page, this is a static page, and this is a static page. This is the only page that really will change with every new blog content that we add to our website. So this is the structure of our website thus far. We have the header up here. The header section encapsulates the menu and the logo. We have the body here. The body encapsulates the content area. And then we have the footer area here. Now, I think this would be a good time to work on the footer area. The footer area of a website generally doesn't change because it's the footer area. For instance, let's go to my website again. The header area and the footer area are generally informational and navigational areas. So this is the header area here, and this is the footer area. Throughout the site, they generally will not change. So if I go to the About Us, the header remains the same and the footer remains the same. Now, you can configure your header and footer however you want it. Sometimes you'll have just different, you may have just your menus, you may have just your address or different information that customers may be looking for. For instance, if we go to a site like IBM, so they have their header up here and the footer here. And now you can see with a site like this, they have just different menus for the footer. So let's work on the footer for our website. And we're going to be dealing with the widget section of WordPress. But as you can see right now, the footer section is just pretty convoluted. You know, we have recent posts, everything is just kind of vertical going down. So let's make this a bit more presentable and it's more beautiful. So let's go into the back end and we will go into the appearance section and then the widgets section. Now, you see we have footer 1 and footer 2. So right now, everything is within the footer 1 section. So let's split up the screen so we can see this better. So everything right now is within the footer section, the footer 1 section. So let's kind of just balance this out. And also just another quick word about the widget section. The widget section, widgets also, the widget section allows you to add different elements and different features to your site as well. Most of the time, when you integrate a plugin into your WordPress, you'll be able to administer it through the widget section most of the time. Sometimes not, but most of the time. But for many simple themes like this, like the theme that we're dealing with here, the widgets will be primarily responsible for the footer section like we have here. And as you can see, we have different menus that we can add. So for instance, let's say that we wanted to add a, let's look here, a calendar. We just move this, put it in our footer 2 section, call it calendar. And now when we refresh the front page, we'll have a calendar on the other section. So this is, if you see here, we have the footer 1 section and the footer 2 section. Now, also, when you get better at WordPress and you become more proficient, you'll actually be able to build your own widget areas, because right now we only have 2 widget areas. And the 2 widget areas that we have are the footer 1 section and the footer 2 section, which is reflected here, the footer 1 section and the footer 2 section. Okay? Clear?
Yep.
Okay. So like I was saying, let's go ahead and just kind of clean this up a bit. So what are some things that may be important for a website that will provide information for our visitors? So we can possibly move the search over here. We really don't need the most recent posts on the footer here. You can actually remove all of this for now, just to clean this up. Okay, and let's click save and see how that looks. Okay, so now we only have 2 menus here, but let's clean this up also. And we also don't need this. Let's just put a very simple text in our footer. We'll put an address, since this is our test business website. We'll save that. We'll go in the front end. So now this is our footer, and we'll leave it as this for now. So just throughout our website, as you scroll through different pages, the footer will remain the same. Let's just call this location. Okay, that's better. So now we have our footer. So next thing here, we just optimize our footer, just making it a bit more simple, a bit more standardized. Let's go ahead and change this tagline here to reflect what our business represents. So we're going to settings, general, and let's call this a sugar company. Let's actually give this a better name here. So now that's our company, and they provide sugar products for restaurants. Now, let's work on the homepage. The homepage is usually one of the most important aspects, the important places that customers see. It's the first thing that customers see. So let's add some images, add some text, and really make it presentable. So from the homepage, let's go ahead and start designing it here. And again, you learned HTML, you became familiar with CSS, and this is all very good. And it will allow you to better interact with WordPress. However, just from the get-go, WordPress allows you to do some of the most complex things that it would have taken you a couple of hours to do with HTML and CSS. WordPress allows you to do it very quickly. For instance, adding an image, adding text, all of that is done pretty quickly. So for instance, to add an image to our front page, let's go ahead and look for an image to add. We need more images. So let's go ahead and look for images on our computer. Maybe this might work. So I'll just take this, I'll drag it over here. I'll give it a while to upload. Okay, there it is. And these details here, not immediately important, but it will be important in the future. These elements, like alt text, if you just fill it in, it helps with search engine optimization. Okay, so now we have an image and we can stretch it out. And when we click update, and when we view our page, there it is. And then we can add text underneath that. And there we have an image on our front page, and then we have some text beneath it. And this is, your website. But the WordPress that we have today allows us to do even more. So, this is a pretty simple presentation. We have our home page, we have an image, and we have a text. But we can probably make it a lot more nicer and quicker as well, because definitely you can build a website and build a very simple website, but we want to make it look good. And that does take time and that does take effort. But the great thing about working with WordPress is that it does make that process quicker and faster. So let's go back into the home page and look through the available options. To make it better. As I mentioned earlier in the first video, the current WordPress of today uses blocks, a block feature to that allows us to add content and information in any number of ways. So we can create many blocks. So this is one block. We can create another block, and so forth. But here, question?
No. Okay.
But here we're going to create a block or find a block that deals with presentation. So that's going to be in the layout element. So as you can see, I click this plus sign here. I go to the layout elements section. Now I'm looking for some free designs that usually comes with this here. Let's see if I can find it. Actually, it's not here. It's on a different website.
Okay.
So basically, we have to build our front page from scratch. But not to worry, let's do that. And let's try to make it pretty as well. So let's see, what could we add? How about we add a video as the front page? So we'll add a video. Now, what kind of video should we add? Let's go find a video on YouTube. Let's find a video on a sugar company. Okay, yeah, how sugar is made.
These machines.
We'll just copy that URL. And then I will click insert from URL. And there we are. Now we have a video on the front page. Now we can align this in many different ways. So this is basically how it is positioned on the front page. We can make it align center, align right, wide width, full width. Let's look at full width. So it's big. I think this will look good. Let's click update and see how it looks right now. Okay, there it is.
These machines harvest the cane by.
Okay. But let's perhaps look at another position. Maybe if we make it just a bit wide, but not too wide. Let's click update. Let's see how that looks. Okay. I think that may be better.
Yeah.
Okay. And then underneath that, let's add some additional content. So we'll do see how to structure this here. Okay, we'll do a column. I think that will be good. And then we'll just do 2 columns, just like that. And with the 2 columns, as you can see, you can adjust them both, or just make it 50-50. And then from here, we can start to, within this column, we can then add our text. Let's give it a heading first. So let's call it and then we can start writing something. Okay, just making something up here. And let's see how that looks. Okay. And then beneath that, let's add another block. Let's see what that could be here. Media text. Okay. So This is actually what I was looking for earlier. It's just a simple presentation design, but let me redo this from the start. So I'm clicking on this plus sign here, and I come here. So under layout elements, I looked for media and text, and this is just a quick presentation design for our site. So it's just like here we'll have the image, and here we'll have the content. And I think that would be good. So let's go ahead and actually remove all of this. So I'll remove this block. I'll remove this block. I'll remove this block. This block. And this block. So we'll just start over from underneath the video. Go to layout elements. We'll do media and text. Okay, so that breaks it up into media, an image here, and content. And let's go and find a picture of sugar, actually. Yeah, okay, table sugar. We'll just go to Google and search for an image. Let's look for a large image. Okay, that's pretty large. So we'll just save this image and use it. All right, so we'll upload the image of the sugar here. So let's just click upload. And then we'll add some content here. And let's go and find some filler content. The website filler text generator, it just creates content that's, it's really Latin, but it's just gibberish. And it just allows us to fill up content pretty quickly in a space. So let's do about, 5 paragraphs, generate. Okay, we'll just copy that. We'll come here and we'll paste it here. Okay, so now we have an image and we have text. Let's save that and look at the presentation. On the front end, let's see how it looks. Okay, now that's starting to look better. So we have a video here and some more informational content here. And so this will be our homepage. Now let's move on to the About Us page. The About Us page is going to be similar to the homepage. It's just it's going to state more about the company or state more about the particular website. So let's go ahead and edit that page. And here we'll just use the same layout element, media and text. Okay. Now from here we can choose how big we want it to be, full width or wide width. Now, if we do full width, that'll probably look a bit different. So let's do that. We'll upload the same sugar image. Actually, we should have it now. We shouldn't need to do this. We'll go to the media library instead and just select it. Now you can either upload an image from your computer, or if you already have it within your website, you can just click on Media Library and it's here. And you can upload multiple pictures within your media library. That is your media library, which is a kind of a closet for all the media, for all the pictures, all the images on your website will be housed here in the media section. So you'll see we have media library, and you can easily add a new image as well into your closet. So for instance, I just click add new, and then I can just drag an image in here. And then when I drag it, it's there. So now if I go to the media library, we now have the image I just added plus the other images. So it's just, a closet for all of your media. So let's go ahead and let's go back to the page that we're working on, the About Us page, and we'll add the sugar image. And then we will also add the content, the filler content. Now, unlike the front page, we have selected for this one here to be full width. So let's click save. And let's look at how this looks compared to the front page. Looks good. So as you can see, let's go to the front page and see the difference. So in the front page, we had made it to be slightly more narrow, but smaller, not full width. And here, in the About Us page, we have it full width. And I also recall how we did that. From this menu here. So we have wide width and full width. And depending on the element you're working with, so you can play with this later, you'll have more options as well, like left aligned, right aligned, and so forth.
Okay.
Okay, so let's leave it at that. So we have our home, we have our About Us page. So we have our home, About Us page. Now let's move on to the gallery. Now, the gallery on WordPress, or putting together a gallery, it's very straightforward, very easy. For the most part, what you need are the images to go find the images to use. So let's go and find some images of sugar that we can use. We'll download about 5 images. And we'll use that to create our gallery. So let's look for some larger images here. Okay, so we'll select this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Now I'm just opening these up in a new tab. All right here. Okay, so I'm going to save this. I'll save this one as well, save image. I'll name it 2. I'll save this one, save image. What kind of computer do you have? A Windows or a Mac or an Apple?
Windows.
Okay. I'll save this one as well, save image. And I will save this one, 5. Okay, so now we have 5 images. Let's go ahead and create our gallery. So within our gallery page, we can either go to the back end from clicking here, edit page. Because we are logged in to the site, this menu becomes available. It just allows us to quickly reach the back end. So we can edit this page by clicking here or by clicking here. But let's go from the actual back end. So we'll go from the back end, we'll click pages, and we'll go into gallery. And so let's add a gallery. We'll click the block sign here, and we can start typing gallery to find it. And here we are. And let's go ahead and upload the images that we had just downloaded. So these are it here, these 5. I'm going to select all 5 and click enter. And it will start to upload the images. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam, and now we have our image, our gallery section. Okay, so we can click update just to see how that looks. So there it is, we have our gallery section. But let's play with it some more. So here we have a bit more options in terms of how we can present it. So we can make it just a bit larger. So let's see how that looks. Okay, that's a bit bigger. And we can also make it full width, which is even larger. So it takes up the full width of the page. We'll click update. We'll refresh. And there it is. Now you can add many, many images, hundreds to a page, like many, many images very easily just through the process that we did. Just find the image and upload it. So let's bring it back here. Now, currently,
if you're in the front end.
Right now, I'm in the back end.
Yeah, but if you go to the front end, can you click on one picture so it pops on full screen or something?
That's certainly possible. So let's work on that here.
Okay.
Okay, so now at this point, we cannot click on the images default, but let's go ahead and make it so that we can click on the images. So since we just added our gallery, we can then go into the right-hand side here. So for every image, for every block that we add, so this is a block here, this is the gallery block. Once we click on that block, we have the options for that block. And we can adjust various elements of that block. For instance, right now we have 3 columns, 1, 2, 3, but we can make it 2 columns. So it's, 4. We can make it 1. So it's just one big image going down. We can make it like this. We can make it like this. So let's make it like this for now. Now, let's make it so that we can click on individual images and make them bigger. So to do that, all you really have to do is come here on the link to, and instead of none, we'll click on media file, because each of these are media files. And so we want each of them to link to their media file. So when we click save now, let me just clear things up a bit and go to the front page. Here it is. Now these are clickable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's that as far as our gallery page. So now we have our home page with the video and the content. We have our About Us page. We have our gallery page. And we have our blog page, which shows the new blog content as we write it. And then we have our contact page. So we just created a website with 5 pages. And you have the adjustable menu as well. And voila. So this is a simple website. You know, usually a website at its most simple form really just communicates information. You know, and we can break up that information into a home page, which, you know, gives a quick review of what the website or business is about us, which deals with what the business does. Gallery, sometimes a blog. A blog is a good place to provide new information to prospective customers or people who you want to be your customers. And contact page. Contact page is a place where people can actually connect with the business. And then we also have a search. So if you have a lot of pages, the search is always a good thing to have. Now, again, this is a simple website and that provides simple information. So we haven't really gone into you know, building a more complex website, but using the theme that we have here, we've just put together a pretty straightforward website. Now, in the first video, we went to go look at some themes on a theme marketplace. So let's go to one of those again. Let's go to the Avala theme. This theme is a very popular theme. Oops, what's going on here? Let's refresh the page. Okay. We'll go somewhere else. Let's look at this theme then. We'll click preview. Okay, now these are premium themes that you can buy and will allow you to build very complex websites very easily. So for instance, a site like this, let's go into this site. So this theme looks different from the theme that we are currently working on. Our theme is very basic.
Yeah.
But a theme like this, you can just replace what you have here, like you can replace all the things that you see here with your content. And that's usually what you'll see a lot of agencies or marketing, a lot of web designers do, because you can either build a website from scratch for someone, which can be quite time consuming and expensive. And usually, you know, people don't want to pay $50,000 for a website. So now there's the great option that, you know, there are many different themes out there that you can use to build your own site. It's sort of like, instead of building a car from scratch, like let's say that you come to me and you tell me, hey, I want to buy a car, but I don't want a Mercedes, I don't want a Toyota, I want my car built from scratch. That will be very expensive because I'm going to have to build, you know, a car just for you. However, with themes are just like companies build cars. Like Mercedes will build, you know, the E50, Toyota will build this, and, you know, many companies will build cars. And so you can then go to a car dealership and say, hey, I want that car, I want that car, I want that car. And then you can add your options like leather seats and so forth. But it makes it more affordable to have a website that's unique to you, but also reasonable, you know? And so, for instance, let's say that you're building a website for a company. You know, this would be a very good theme to use, and you can change things around. You know, instead of making this 5 themes, just make it, instead of making this 7 menus, just make it 5 menus. Change the content here. Let's go to another one that may be more relevant. Let's go to, like, for instance, a hotel site. Get some hotel themes. For instance, this one here. Let's click preview. And let's select this one here. So again, you know, you can change things around and have a very professional, presentable website. Now, in terms of building a website from scratch, yes, you can certainly do that with HTML and CSS. And that will require just a bit more time spent on understanding the code. But using WordPress and using themes is a great way to move along on that path. And even with the familiarity that you have right now with HTML and CSS, you can make certain adjustments to the appearance of the themes. So for instance, if we go into appearance and we go into customize, and we go into additional CSS, this is where you can add, basically using CSS, change the look and presentation of, or even like the color of your site. Now, most of these options are actually already present in the default options that come with any theme. So for instance, the colors here, you know, like the backend colors, we can make it red, we can make it green, we can make it white, but you can also use CSS to do that.
Okay. And
if you want to go deep into editing your theme, if you really want to go deep into it, and this information, or rather this knowledge will become more important for you as you just engage with web design and coding more so, then you can actually go into the files itself. But I'll just show you. It's not something you will engage with immediately, but I'll just show you. But so these are the WordPress files. These are the files that make up WordPress here. And so the theme section is within the WP content. And here it is, the themes. All your plugins are here, all your themes are here. So this is again for the future, but if you get to a point where you want to actually start building your own themes, you can simply build a theme, put a folder here and upload it, but you can also modify the theme that you have. So let's see the theme that we have here. This is the 2020. So that's hit here at 2020. So let's look at the files that make up the theme 2020. So these are the files that make up the theme 2020. And this is all the CSS that make up the theme. So let's look at it here. So these are all the files that make up this is the CSS responsible for the theme. And this seems like a lot, but
it's a lot.
Yeah, it seems like a lot, yes. But again, as you spend more time on it, this will be just very quick and easy to maneuver around. So, you know, for instance, let's go to the front end here. So if I wanted to change the color here from the CSS directly, I can use the browser I'm using right now, Chrome. You can also use Safari, or even I think Internet Explorer has it, but I'm just gonna find out the element that's responsible for the color. I'm gonna double click on the background here, and I'm gonna click Inspect. And I'm gonna locate what I'm looking for. So this one here. Anyways, as you can see, this gets a bit more, it just, it will take time, but like in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you'll probably be doing what I'm doing here in terms of just looking at the various elements to change. But I'm using the inspect tool that's available on most browsers to look at the different CSS elements that make up my site. So for instance, I'm using Chrome here, and I use this arrow tool here to look at the different things that make up my site, the different CSS elements. So let's look at this title here. I couldn't find the color for the back end, but we can look at the title and we can change the color. Now, let's say that we wanted to find this in the CSS, that big file that we were just looking at. So I'm just going to copy this. And then I'm going to go into here and actually try to find it. So this is the header. So when I type in header, it highlights all the header elements of my CSS. And this is briefly what you were going over in Code Academy.
Yeah.
But for now, this is not all too important at this point. Like I mentioned, like a lot of people are building, and a lot of companies' websites, and let me rephrase that. 1/3 of their websites on the internet are built on WordPress, and in exactly the way that we're doing it here. And just the more familiarity you have with the coding language, HTML, CSS, it will put you a step above a lot of people who may be just using the options within WordPress to build a site. Because with more knowledge, the more you can manipulate the various aspects of WordPress according to what you want, and basically modify a theme that you might have purchased and make it more unique to your purposes. But even aside from that, you can really build a very presentable professional website really without full coding knowledge. WordPress makes it very easy for things like adding gallery, adding pictures, adding videos, and things of that nature. And also, in addition to the various themes that you have out there in the marketplace that you can purchase from various places like ThemeForest or StudioPress, you can really build very nice professional websites. Now, so in this quick course, we just went over putting together a very simple site. We put together the home, about us, gallery, blog, and contact page. So I think, well, let me ask, do you have any questions at this point?
No, so far it's pretty good.
Okay. So I think now would be a good time to, because so now you have a basic grasp of WordPress.
Yeah.
How about you building your own site on your own computer?
Okay.
So you'll download MAMP,
Yep.
the free version. it's available, and it will allow you to hold just one site, but that will be sufficient. You'll download MAMP, and then you'll upload WordPress into it. And you'll either, once you upload WordPress into it and configure it, you'll select a theme and just build your own website. Maybe just make it like a resume website that displays your resume. And
Okay.
And then we will do a presentation. We will do a Zoom where you show me what you've done, and afterwards, just take your time, no rush. Once you're interacting with it, once you're interacting with WordPress, take time to, play with it and be, somewhat familiar with it. And once you're done with all that, we'll actually go ahead and put it on the World Wide Web. So, you and I will go through the process of putting a site that you built on your computer on the World Wide Web and making it live for people to see. And so we'll purchase a domain name, we'll use a hosting plan, and then we'll get that going. And I think that would be a good tutorial. And just take your time, and you will have questions. So just reach out to me.
Okay.
And we can go over those questions either in a Zoom or other form. And we'll go from there.